Hello, good evening everybody, welcome along to JACKOCAR Season 2, Round 2 here at the home of chaos. It is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Very much looking forward to this one. I'm your constant on white. With me I've got Jacko, who's doing many things for many people, but he is
I
here.
just dropped my controller, sorry.
Zipping that was on your list of instructions, but
No.
He's
Good evening,
here.
everyone.
And like I say, we're here for round 2 of the championship. We had a pretty good season opener last week, just the right amount of chaos to tee us up for what should be the real chaotic start. We had, the calm before the storm, you can call that one, in Bahrain, and it was a good race as well. We had plenty of wheel-to-wheel action, but it was J-Luke who passed Khalifa on the final lap to win and book his place for Bahrain. That's an odd one. But, yes, he's going to win in Bahrain. Will he do that again later on in the season? We'll find out. But now, he can sit back and relax. He doesn't have to turn up really anymore, but I'm sure he will for some. I don't think he's here for this one, is he? Oh, there he is. He's just turned up. Last driver here. Better late than never. But yes, like I say, he is the first one to be into the playoffs this season. Who will join us tonight? It could well be a case of who survives this track rather than who's the fastest, because we saw a multitude of incidents last season. We saw blue flag trouble, we saw just crashing in general, because with simulation damage on games like this, punctures are inevitable, front wings are going to be broken, and upsets will be had. And so it'll be very interesting to see how they all get on. And with the way this qualifying format is, if you weren't already under enough pressure coming into races like this, the pressure would be skyrocketing, because every single person is watching you on your lap and you only. And that will be, again, another example of this element, this new element, being really put to the test for these guys and seeing who really comes out on top. And it will be Iceman, I believe, that goes first for his lap today. At least that's what it says in the graphic. So I'll believe that. And yeah, if you aren't aware of the new qualifying system, basically a driver goes out once every 45 seconds, starting at 17 minutes to go, and then every 45 seconds someone else comes out. And it basically means you have one opportunity to do one single lap. If you mess it up, you're in trouble. If you get it right, you're on pole. But it's only one lap, one chance, and everyone watching you for that lap. It also means we get to watch all the laps as well, which is always nice, because you often find that we'll miss stuff in a qualifying session where you've got everyone out at the same time doing multiple laps. And it also gets rid of any dull periods as well, because it means we have constant track action the whole time and every lap matters, so that's always nice. Rain could be a factor as well tonight. Obviously, Bahrain last week, not as high a chance of rain as you would get, say, here in Azerbaijan. Actually, you do get rain quite a lot on the F1 games here, so that is another element as well. But certainly will be an interesting race tonight. And Jacko will have the task system. I haven't got a laptop to use it on, so I can't use it. But Jacko certainly has it.
Just a word on that, Owen. Good evening, everybody. We're just trying to set up the YouTube chat for everybody regarding tasks, so that everybody else has access to fastest lap and sector times and all of that good stuff.
Yes. Right then, so first thing we've got to figure out then is when we get into this lobby, will it be wet? Because obviously a wet qualifying could be fascinating. We didn't really sort of discuss it last week because it wasn't really too important, because it was in Bahrain and it wouldn't have mattered. But say we come out of the screen and it's wet, will it be wet the whole session? Will it even start dry and become wet? That could also be quite a feature here. It was one of the issues actually with the one-shot qualifying system in real life F1. It always created grids, for example, like Australia 2005 or Japan 2005. It always mixed it up, but it looks like we're staying dry for this session. At least it'll start off dry. And like I say, the first driver out will be Iceman, and he will be leaving the garage 17 minutes, or well, somewhere around there, about 15 seconds around that. You can't wait too long or else you'll get in trouble, I believe. So yeah, they've all got to make sure they're out there, and that means they've got to keep an eye on the time. You can watch all your laps and all that, but if you really make a very embarrassing mistake and forget to go out, that'd be a bit of a whimper, wouldn't it? So, yes, look out then for Iceman to be coming out of the pit lane any second now. And you can see, there he goes.
Yep, Iceman, one of 3 reserve drivers in tonight. Obviously, Matt makes his return, his 17th start. The only race he's missed was the one last season, the one last week, I should say. And also, Cam K is back in the seat tonight for his 4th JACKOCAR start. Thomas and Dan's car, they make their debuts this season, but of course were regulars last season.
So Iceman then. What a livery this one is. We saw last week, there's a limited selection of liveries on this game. You wouldn't think of how crazy these guys have been with him. And again, Iceman, one of the big advantages, of course, of these multiplayer cars is that they look so damn fine. And this one, again, looking very, very tasty. Certainly a looker, but will it be a quick one? We're in the castle section. It's the out lap. You always want to make sure this is the bit you're always going to focus on your lap. But it isn't the only tricky part. The corner I seem to find more people having issues with is more sort of turn 2, and then what's coming up here, the next one here, because of how high the curb is. Some people tend to want to ride over that curb, and if you do that, you'll gain time. But if you get it wrong here, you'll do a Sergio Perez in 2016, and you'll blow your chance of a front row start by hitting the wall there, and you don't want to be doing that. Also, starting your lap, it starts here effectively. If you mess anything up in this chicane before the start of the lap, then you will be down a few miles an hour, and that will affect you down towards turn 1. But it looks like Iceman's had a decent start. Remember, only sort of one ARS mode you want to be using here, because there's only one available, which is hot lap. I mean, sometimes it'll derate towards the end of a lap, but it's quite rare. I don't think there'll be any issue of it on Baku, because there's so many sort of slow bits in the first 2 sectors. But here we go anyway, on board lap. Hopefully we have no invalidations or anything, so you can get a proper look at the Baku city circuit. DRS there, 2 zones on this track, down towards turn 1 and down towards turn 3. A lot of 90-degree turns, which is, like I say, you'll see a lot of ERS having to slow down for those. That's why I'm sort of saying deracing isn't a factor. Oh, very wide there, in towards turn 4. That could well have been in the wall, but luckily he was alright. If you're looking for ERS deployment remaining, it's the green line just to the left of the 2 there. That'll be depleting throughout the lap. So just in case you want to have a look at ERS, not that it should really matter, but maybe in the race itself when you're using overtake, etc., you'll want to look at it then to see how much you will have for that certain lap. But Iceman, clean lap so far, Jacko.
Yeah, of course. Iceman was disappointed to miss out on a full-time seat, so ever since that second test race we held at Silverstone, he's done his hashtag the statement, where he's trying to prove a point to all the team leaders who didn't pick him. So he goes pole here or wins the race, gets a good result, I wonder if he'll start to turn heads and make the team leaders regret who they pick. It's going well so far for Ben in the 29 car.
Regardless of anything, he's going to be P1 for at least a minute. Or, well, more like 45 seconds, but it'll be P1. Doesn't really matter. Here he comes to the line. Then Iceman, first lap of the day, his only lap, of course, this qualifying session. He is stuck now with a 1 minute 39.5. We'll see how good that is in comparison to the rest. Now, here is Cam. He's got green. He likes his greens, doesn't he? Very green everywhere. And purple first sector for him. And we'll see sort of how the rest of the lap develops. And obviously, again, the castle section. I think most of these guys should be alright in qualifying, in fairness, in this section. They'll all be sort of thinking, right, only one opportunity here. Maybe just calm it a tiny bit. But certainly in a race it'll be more of a problem. But it is worth points tonight if you do get it wrong there. Yeah, good luck. But again, a clean looking lap so far for Cam. Nothing that sticks out wrong. They weren't really wanting to fly over the curbs yet, mind you. We've only seen 2 laps. Maybe when you see the big boys go out, I say big boys, they're all worthy of pole position. But you know, the usual suspects, I should say. When they go out, see how they're taking that curb. But anyway, through the last corner now. Cam up towards the DRS detection point, and then the line, of course, further on there as he goes and turns it on. You can see it there. Look at the back camera that we're still loving. And up to the line, Cam, P2, nearly 4/10 off the pace. Right, third driver.
Indecisive Matt. 17th start in JACKOCAR. Lovely blue and orange car.
Yeah, it's just like, this is a very sort of the evolution of Frenegami's, everybody. It certainly reminds you of this one. Certainly the template anyway is Frenegami's, but the design itself reminds you a lot of Scott Dixon. I don't know if that's what he was going for. I know I sort of said this last week, and I'm sure it's probably a NASCAR driver, but
No, I actually had a discussion with Matt a few weeks ago about this car, and it's for a good cause actually.
Alright.
Let me just find the information for you as he comes into Sector 3. I'll let you fill in, Owen, because I'm no good at that.
Well, the PNC Bank car, we'll call it for now, coming up to the line. Not going to be P1, not going to be P2 either. It'll be P3 for a bit, but it is 4 seconds off the pace.
That is the FND car, by the way, the Functional Neurological Symptom Disorder car.
Ah, okay.
So
Good
he's
stuff.
trying to raise awareness. I think he's running the same colours in other leagues that he's competing in as well. So good for Matt.
Yeah, that's good to see. No, I was talking to Thomas about it as well. I had a very, very, very short discussion. He's not putting gold on this livery because he hasn't won anything yet. I'm telling you, this will be gold eventually some point this year. We're expecting big things this year. Obviously, won the Big Five last season. Would be good to start his season off with a victory, or at least a pole position. Something nice. Get some playoff points on the board. As he comes up to the line, TC. His first appearance, of course, this season. He missed the first race last week, and he's gone P1 by 2/100ths of a second. Couldn't really ask for much more there, I guess, at the moment.
Really? Good lap.
Right, Dan Scar next up into the castle section. And I wonder how soon we're going to see people starting to use the series livery. Because we're seeing a livery very similar to it, and I like the way they use the colours on that. But when you complete all the series goals, you get a different livery, which is a bit similar to this one. We can do a lot more with the colours, and I can imagine loads of these colours, like Dan Scar's one, for example, could be very nice in livery. But it takes so much work to do, and you have to do a clean race. So in Vietnam, and as I've established many times, the game doesn't let you do that. So
I remember we struggled for an evening trying to get a clean race in Vietnam, didn't we?
It just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, did it?
No.
My fault, to be fair, but you know, skim past that very small thing that I was dive-bobbing everyone. But that's why I don't league race. As Dan Scar comes up to the line to go P4, 1.5 seconds of the pace at the moment. Right, OKK is next, I believe. And he's finishing his lap now, so I guess that means Dan Scar's taking quite a short or quite a long out lap. Either way, OKK's only gone in to P5. Oh! Indecisive in the wall. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? He's binned it at the end of the lap.
He's retired in the pit lane, hasn't he?
No, he's binned it on the track. MK Bourne's coming. And Pete as well. You'll see where Pete is. Hopefully that car is... I think it's a ghosted car. Since it's a crash, you see, it should be ghosted. But we'll see. Let's see how far MK Bourne goes out. Yeah, I think the car has disappeared now. It's out of the way. That's well, that's not good news if you're crashing on your end lap, is it?
Not. It's going to give the mechanic something to do between now and the race. But luckily we're in the virtual world, so I think he'll be alright.
MK Bourne goes P3 there. TC still at the top of the timing sheets.
MK Bourne won this race last season.
Yes, it was a long overdue win as well, wasn't it? But it was a good one in the end.
He should have won the week before in Austria, and perhaps should have done better in Australia in season 1, but he finally got it here, which put him into the second round of the playoffs, and then meant he could advance quite relatively stress-free, if you will, to the Championship 5.
Yeah, it all came together in the end. He'd be looking for it to come a lot earlier this season. If he gets P3 on the grid, it'd be a good foundation. Although around here, frankly, you could start anywhere, really, can't you? And you'll get a result. Camo Babo goes P5, 1.1 seconds off the pace. And now Pete next up. Still finding his feet, really, isn't he, at the moment, with his new sort of setup. And less assists, etc. And that's in the wall, so he definitely is finding his feet. Has he broke the car? Yes, he has. He's broke the front wing. Now, this could make this last sector very painful indeed. He's just going to be aware that it's going to be a bit understeer, because if he isn't aware, he's going to go wide here and he'll hit the wall. But he is okay. He's got through it. He will have a little bit of a decrease in the straight line speed, but really it'll only have affected him for maybe one corner. So the lap shouldn't be too badly handicapped, but he's showing he's still struggling by hitting the wall, and he is the first one to really give it some over that curve, and that's how it ends up P7. For Pete, it really is going to be a long road up. But then again, all he needs is one single win, isn't it? And he's up there.
And Pete, by the way, is just one of 6 drivers who's competed in every race so far. This is the 18th start for himself, MK Vaughan, Dexter, Cloud, Jamie, as in Jamie Bromley, or Splinter, and Arnold.
Here comes Jordan up to the line, P5 he goes. Next up is Dexter. Another fantastic livery. I might end up sort of praising this one quite a lot this season, especially in the night races. To be fair, it looks nice in the night races. Maybe you can't see it lit up very well, but in the daytime, proper daytime, this one will also good. Sunset's probably the only one where it doesn't look at its fullest, but still, nice livery's nice. If only Codemasters.
Matte green, that really works on that car.
Well, it's the whole car for me. It works like a 2014 Caterham, so
yes,
that's sort of the whole aesthetic that's going on here. Hopefully, it isn't as slow as one. But still, and we'll see what sort of time he does. It's not on for P1, I don't think, at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he ends up. Through the last corner, no chats with the wall, at least on this lap. We're now, by the way, at the halfway point of the laps. We've had 10 laps on the board. This will be lap number 11. But where is it going to go? Dexter to the line. P8. And John is next up.
Again, Napa Auto Parts inspired livery, the Chase Elliott car from NASCAR.
Oh,
he gets a bit wide there. Took an impressive P10 last week, did Mr. John. And it's going to be something he's going to want to do today. Just stay out of trouble, finish as high as you can, because people will make mistakes.
Could relegate into last on the grids, that's a mistake. But again, as you say, it is all about the race here, isn't it? But I don't see him really having a good lap now. He's got indecisive on a 1:43.6 to beat. I think he'll do that. Yeah, he will do that. So the mistake didn't cost him as much as it could have done, but still,
maybe
he'll be
one more position on that without that mistake.
Right, here's Baza on his lap now. Felt like he hit the wall there. I don't think he did though.
Baza, interestingly enough, it was last week he got his best qualifying in JACKOCAR as a P8. I'm trying to replicate that.
We'll see how he gets on. Not quite at the peak of his powers compared to what he was in the ILR days, but you never know. This could be the night where he really pushes his weight up again, gets himself up there. Hopefully he does. 17 forward on the middle sector, not looking too promising, although there is a very nice toe. He's going to get off the car ahead. Who is that? I can't see his name on there. It's a pink car. But either way, it's a very nice SG. It'll be Yuri. And yeah, this will help give him probably the fastest final sector. For quite a long way, actually, as well. He'll be hitting well into the 210s. But he won't be particularly high on the leaderboard, sadly. But still, that could have gained him a position. He might have been behind Pete if it wasn't for that. So still, he'll be happy enough with that, won't he? And Clyde's invalidated. He's going to be last. That's bad news. Bad news. No lap on the board.
One of the big guns as well is Cloud. That shows it can happen to anyone.
Here's Yuri. This is Alexander Rossi inspired. Again, we love our Napas. Well, it's not really a Napa, you know what I mean. Former Napa man. In a pink and black and grey car of ugliness. I like pink, honest, but I don't know, it needs more other accent colours alongside it. Take a look at the Racing Point. Inspire off that. Or maybe that's just me. I mean, you can have your own preference on pink, but no one ever does it perfectly except for Racing Point. That's my only problem. Why can't we just give him a Racing Point? Sorted. But anyway, we're complaining a lot about livery. Always hit the wall. He doesn't like livery either. He's taking bits off it. Still quicker than Baza in the middle sector though, and he was up there, so the toe he had would help him, but maybe if it wasn't for that front wing damage, he could struggle in this last sector. Top 10 should be viable, but we'll see how he gets on.
Slot in between Baza and Pete there, as you rightfully say, Owen. We'll see where he goes. Such a long straight DRS, and he just opens now down towards the pit entry. Next up will be the finish line.
He beats Baza still. He does beat him still. I was worried the front wing damage would cost him and the lack of a toe, but no, he still managed it. Next up is Paul. Well, he's already crossed the line. He's very close to the back there of Yuri, and he's gone P4. I wonder if he had some toe as well. But that's his lap done. P4 for the Scotsman. CC still running in P1. We've only got 4 laps to go. Then there'll be Spencer, Arno, J-Luke and Kyle.
Paul is part of this new Big Five that seems to be shaping up, along with Arnold, J-Luke, Splinter and Kyle. It'll be interesting to see what they can do at a street circuit. I know it's only the second round.
Here comes Splinter. I see a slipstream. This could be a pretty big one from Clyde. ILRT helps ILRT as Baza retires in the pit lane. Probably going to be looking at them thinking, oh, that would be nice again. I see he's not the only one with that innovation. It'll take him well up to P1, this Splinter. Oh. And that is how you use a toe effectively. P1 by nearly 7/10 of a second. That might discourage Arnold.
Wow.
Let's see, he's had a bit of a slide at the castle section. Maybe he already feels the pressure. You'll be instantly worried. You see that sort of time pop up, you think, that's nearly 7/10 quicker than anyone else, and there's only 3 people left to go. This is a pretty big uphill challenge, but let's see if he's up to it, Arnold. Through the middle sector, 14.6. This is looking pretty good in fairness. No toe, but we'll see if he can put this up to P1. As long as he gets a lap on, he will be last. And Clyde, yeah, he got his lap invalidated, but at least he's been able to help someone out. But will Arnold be able to get up there? Will this be where TC watches and grimaces and thinks, no, I'm going to fall down the grid now? He was on the front row. Will he stay there with his lap? I don't think he will. He doesn't. And that's because Arnold's gone P1 by 400ths of a second. And now the bar is really starting to get lowered. As Kyle, for the middle sector to 14.7, we'll see what he does in the last sector, what the exit is out of the last braking zone.
Kyle last week went from P20 on the grid to P3, so if he can get towards the front, you'd expect him to be in the hunt for the race win once again. What can he do? Heading towards the line.
Checkered flag is out. Not that he has any more laps to do anyway, and he does go P1.
Wow,
every lap. Now it's going faster, but I have a feeling we're still waiting for the big showcase because we're on board with J-Luke, the last man on track. Most pressured driver out here right now. He's got every single eye on him. He knows that he's got to beat that 1 minute 38.7. Every single one of the last 3 laps we've seen have gone fastest, and J-Luke is seeing his time up on the board, and it is not really on the pace for P1. He might scrape into P4 with it, but at the minute, the race winner last week is not really looking at going P1 alone. Kyle, those playoff points for him for pole position looks like they're safe because J-Luke has to make 4 or 5 tenths in his last sector over Kyle's. But let's see, what will he do? Has he got anything left in the tank? Where is J-Luke going to go? P4 in the end, as I said. It was just not enough in the last sector. But it is Kyle then who's on pole for the second round of the JACKOCAR Season 2. And as we say, he was last on the grid last week. Wasn't his fault. And he still finished the second. And he lost the race on the final lap, didn't he, as well, to J-Luke. So, really, he's shown he had the pace for that first race. But now he's going to be able to show it from the front.
No, it was Khalifa.
Or was it? Oh, yeah, sorry, it was Khalifa, wasn't it?
So
I forget the penalty
man
did
from
it.
Bahrain, of course, he's a reserve driver now. But almost snatched a win at his home track last week.
Sorry, that's my bad. That's forget the penalty had that. But still, he was in the podium positions there. Still very high up. Either way, he's still in a fantastic position. And the rest of the grid are too, really, because we should be in for a fascinating race. Anyone can win this. That's just the nature of Baku. But the grid is Kyle from Arnold, Splinter, J-Luke, TC, Iceman, NK Bourne, Paul, Cam, Jordan. They'll all be starting on the softs, unless it's wet. And then Camo Babu, Danscar, Dexter, Yuri, Baza, Pete, OKK, Mr. John, Indecisive, and the only man with no time, Clyde. But he did help his Splinter, his friend Splinter, ILRT buddy, up to P3 with the slipstream there at the end. So he got something out of it.
Absolutely fantastic end to qualifying there as well. That's why we do it in reverse championship order. That was exactly what it was supposed to be like. Fantastic.
Yeah, it worked out pretty much as well as you'd expect it to. The first round was never going to be as good as the second round, but now we've got a consistent championship order now. That'll be changing every week as well. It really will put this into perspective. And look at this. It is dark. It is nearly night time, you'd think, with how dull it is. Surely rain is on the horizon with this one.
I saw in one of the team chats earlier that it's going to be a dry race, but I'm not so sure. looking at that sky.
I mean, it could sprinkle down, a little sprinkle. Well, we'll ask the chat anyway. I'll ask the chat. Just seeing. Is the race going to be wet? Or is it just very dull? Either way, that's got to be a little concerning for them, surely. Seeing those dark clouds above the sky. We know what this game's like, though, don't we? We'll say this. Look how dark and dull it is. Surely rain is coming 5 minutes later. It's a sunny day here in Azerbaijan. What a beautiful day for racing. You know, that's just the way this game works. But, we'll see. We'll see.
I've just read in chat that Arnold made a mistake at the castle section, which is probably what's cost him pole there.
Where's it? I saw a lot of sliding, remember, on his lap. And
would have been his 4th pole had he got it.
It looks like it's a dry race, according to Paul McGuinness. I mean, it's just going to be a very dull one then. Hope you've got your brightness up on your televisions, because you might need it. Yeah. Fair enough. I don't tend to see it this way. Here are the strategies. Well, for Cloud anyway. If you're starting on the hards, there you go. That's all you could need to know if you're on the hards. They're completely wrong, of course, because it's 2 stops. And for some reason it's telling you a hard strategy for somebody who's on the soft. But okay, Mr. John will be looking at that. And even then, he's on the hards. Why would he be on the hards? Well, we know what Azerbaijan's like. Surely everyone wants to be on the soft, because really, let's be honest, if you're going to pit 7 or 8 times at this race. Let's be brutally honest here, but Baz and Mr. John, they'll try something different. If a normal strategy goes to plan, there's no jokers by the way tonight. I think they've learnt their lesson. That's just not going to work. Let's be honest. But yeah, Baz and maybe Baz and Mr. John would be going, say it's a normal race, which it won't be.
I think
they'll go
Baz
for 2 stops at the end. But
yeah, I think they might be playing the long game, thinking about possibly the stage wins. Obviously, end of lap 6, end of lap 12. If nobody else has
good point.
Get rid of their soft tyres, you know, that's an easy playoff point there if they stay out of trouble as well.
Difficult to do that though in the mid pack, but I certainly see where you're coming from with that, and I'll certainly see that's probably where they are coming from as well. But it does mean as well that they're being clean air if, say, a safety car comes out and they're on a longer set of tyres, and everyone's made their first stop, and they can take advantage of that. But yeah, that's providing they aren't the accident in the midfield at the start. You see, that's the problem with being so low down. But certainly an exciting racing prospect. And Kyle
Absolutely.
is the man leading it all. Arnaud with something to prove. Like I say, he had that slide as he exited the castle section. We saw it happen live. And he thinks that cost him pole. I'd agree with him, honestly. That probably did cost him pole. Splinter, the substitute helped him, but was that his genuine pace? Will he go up? Will he fall backwards? J-Luke, championship leader. Gotta make a few places up, but we've seen him do it before. Well, last week. TC, first round of the season. Here to prove himself. Still prove he's part of that top 5. He's done a good job of that, hasn't he, so far? He's got top 5 in qualifying. We'll see what he does in the race as well. Hopefully his jinx has been taken away after having a very good end to last season. He didn't win the title, but my goodness, he went from just scraping into the playoffs to top 3 in the championship in the end of it all. Wasn't he top 3?
Yep.
So
Top 3, yeah, 3rd overall. And then, of course, Iceman obviously trying to prove a point this week. MK Bourne won this race last season. Paul McGuinness, the fastest supposedly in the league. Cam Kev, the fast American driver, see what he can do from P9. And Jordan, the team leader of Team Jordan, gets another good qualifying in P10 there. So what can he do?
Mr. Wildcard. Mr. Wildcard from last season. Now the team leader. What a turnaround it has been for him in all fairness in just a few races. He's gone from reserve to team leader.
Winner of the chase, and then 4th overall last season. What a great fairy tale story for Jordan. But anyway, Owen, over to you.
Clyde then, on to his grid slot. It is one of the shortest runs to turn 1 we'll see all season. And when the 5 lights go out, it could be a chaotic start. 5 lights on, here in Azerbaijan. And Clyde's jumped it already, and look how slow he's had to be. That's an unfortunate one for him. He'll have to drive through, but look at that. There goes J-Luke up to P2 already. He's on the inside. Be careful you don't make contact. Arnaud's falling back. I think it's been a good start for Iceman in there as well, up to P4. Hard to tell with the positions not really updating, but that's into the wall. That's Arnaud way into the wall. A massive amount of front wing damage, but what about the run for J-Luke down towards turn 3? I don't think he's going to have a run, but look at this, 3 wide back there. We've got TC in the middle of all that, and he should be up ahead of the damaged Arnaud. Belgians fighting each other once again in JACKOCAR, but it is TC coming out on top. It's J-Luke then, I think, the main challenger. I think there's a big-ish gap behind. It's hard to tell with these lack of gaps. Splinter's had a poor start. He's fallen way down. I wonder if he's got some front wing damage himself, or if he's just had a slow start. Order now starting to shape itself a bit. Clyde just needs to get through that sector zone and we'll be able to get the order. Virtual safety car is out, so we need to see who else has also got damage, but it is J-Luke fighting Kyle for the lead, and that'll be Iceman 3rd, TC4, Varnard 5th, Paul 6th, NK4 7th, and all the way down in P8 already. We've got Splinter, but what caused the virtual safety car? We've gone green anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I think it must be just maybe a little bit of damage to someone, but we're green again here in Azerbaijan.
Oh, and all this damage. Pete, Chris, OKK, Arnold, and Jamie all had front wing problems there.
And that's Iceman 2. Big hit into the wall. I couldn't quite tell if he had hit it, but he certainly has. That'll have to be in the pits as well. And Clyde has binned it. Clyde has binned it. And I think there's a spin. There's a spin, I think, for someone in there. It's Yuri. Yuri has spun off as well. So Clyde and Yuri go in pretty much one fell swoop there.
Yep. Yuri coming off the back of that amazing P7 last week. That'd be disappointing for him.
Arnold into the pit lane. Hopefully you can put this into a strategy. DRS is not enabled, it is just lap 2. Ignore what the game is telling us. We know how glitchy this thing is at the start of races. By the start of the real lap 3 it should have itself all sorted out, but yeah, until then we have to sort of go on what we can see on the map and what I can tell from what I'm seeing from the actual onboards. So we have, yeah, Pete and Indecisive in the pit as well. And Yuri spun out of turn 1. Just a miserable start for him. I don't know if he's taking assists off or something, but he's spinning like a top. He's like cloudy balloons in one hub. It's unbelievable. He's going to go again. Oh, look at him. He's all over the show. But it is a pit stop done for the guys that pitted, so, I mean, keep it up. You might, just if you can keep it on the road, it's still something worth playing for here, but then there's a lot of people who say their tires are brand new when they actually aren't. So I'll just bring up a pit stop graphic. That should tell us all we need to do. Only 2 pit stops in there, apparently. Arnold has been one as well, but it took a while to notify us, but there's 3 pit stops out there. My goodness, is this difficult to keep track of when the game's got this so wrong. Could you believe there's people out there to say this game isn't a broken mess?
I can't believe it. To drive, the game is fantastic. Everything else is not quite so good with it. But these drivers, they're making the best of it.
I'll tell you what.
Will come around to complete the end of the second lap.
Yeah, Kyle and J-Luke have absolutely checked out right now. And Kyle pulling away from J-Luke as well. But TC, he's miles behind. It's nearly 6 seconds behind as we see Iceman pitting. I'm surprised he didn't pit on the last lap. The front wing damage was way too much. But he decided to stick it out another lap, and that will have cost him quite dearly in this race. NK Bourne's under quite a lot of pressure from Cam, he's from Splinter, Danscar, quite a lot in there as well. DRS is now officially enabled, and they can use it down towards turn 3. And towards turn 1, of course, but this is the first time we see it in the race. Anyone going to make any moves of it? So we're going to see the trademark. No one can make it overtake because ERS is ruining the game. It's the last round, unfortunately. Ah, well. We should start a petition. Get rid of ERS for goodness sake. We've seen them try and fix it, they've just made it worse.
But, easier. It's a lot easier now, is ERS.
Well, it's easier for the drivers, it's easier for us to understand, which is why I can say I firmly hate it more, because I understand it won't help racing, sadly. Paul McGuinness has fallen outside of TC's DRS range. Don't know if he's had a bad lap or damage.
Oh, it's Dan's car, he's spun and he's hit.
Yeah, he's hit Camu Babu.
Splinter, I think.
Camu Babu's got, I think, front wing damage, yeah. Safety car out. Yeah. Maybe not a safety car worthy offence that, but I guess there's debris on the track. Don't want to be running over that, you'll get a puncture. But so safety car right
now. Oh, and this is where people like Bazza and John, will their split strategy pay off? They'll stay out, one would like to think. But everybody else is going to pit.
Their problem is here that Kyle and J-Luke have built such a massive lead.
Oh, J-Luke hits the wall on the pit entry.
Oh dear.
He's lucky to still have his front wheel on that, the simulation damage.
And he won't be able to change that front wing at a quick note. Oh no, he will. They've got a front wing for him. But Pete's retired.
And Pete's retired.
That's an accident in the castle section. We obviously can't see it because the game won't let us show us retired cars, but you can see it on the map. He's binned it in the castle. Interesting. But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Here's the problem Baza, etc. have. Kyle and J-Luke built up such a big gap that Baz is not going to get either of them. And so Baz is third, but now Kyle and J-Luke have already made one pit stop. I mean, this is really building these two to be the clear front runners in this race.
Mr. John has opted to pit, by the way. He's gone on to the mediums. I think a good decision there. So Baza, he's going to need another safety car for sure.
I'm wondering if this
track position.
This sort of isn't working out for him at the minute. I gotta say, this is he'd be doing what you'd be saying, looking for the race lead, but being caught in the mid pack. I mean, it was such a massive train. It was sort of inevitable there to be an accident at some point, and it was. And well, all that fighting would slow you down, and that's why Baz. I mean, they'd made so much gap, the front two. They must have had, what, 15, 20 seconds on Baza already in just 3 laps. We're passing the crash sites of Pete. Just wondered if there's any debris down there, but there isn't. You always got to worry about that, but I think they should all be okay. Train isn't quite caught up yet. I wonder if we'll do another lap behind safety car. We'll see. They could get it all done in 1 lap, but Yuri isn't going... Well, he's not going very quick, is he? So, Don't remind me of last season, man. Move it, please.
And can you believe last season's champion, Pete Knighton, P14 last week, P19 this week. Awful start to the season.
It's sort of what we expected, though, isn't it? Unfortunately for him, we knew it was going to be a troubling time for him, but we expect improvement eventually. Listen, he's got 10 rounds to get to the playoffs. He's got plenty of time to sort of build up the confidence, but this has not been a good start. Crashing under safety car is not the way to start a season, is it?
Absolutely not. And if you go back to last season, in Australia he finished P13, and in Abu Dhabi he got a P3, so that was his first 2 races, not quite so bad. He had his problems in Singapore, which weren't his fault, sorry. And then he got 11 points in Spain, 12 points in Britain, and then of course he won 3 on the bounce. And then everything from there was just up. But just not the start Pete would have wanted. You know, switching to Will, no assist. He would have wanted something a little bit more than what he's already got.
So, safety car did set for another lap. The guys actually did catch up to the train just before turn 1, so we were close. But yeah, well, it just gets us 1 lap closer to the stage point, doesn't it, for Kyle?
Yep. End of lap 6, that'll be that one. So
a nice safe point, you'd hope. If he doesn't bin it in lap 6, he'll get that point. Although, of course,
Jamie or Baza have something to say on the restart.
Well, yeah, this is it, isn't it? We'll see what they're like. We'll see how aggressive they are. We know starting on such a long stretch could be problematic if you're the leader and you haven't quite had the best restart. I don't know what sort of technique would you go for. Would you go for a Barrichello, which is just wait for literally forever? Would you do a Bottas and go as soon as humanly possible? Surely you'd do a Barrichello in a situation and just wait until as far down that straight as you possibly can. But we'll see what Kyle's approach is. Safety car restarts always are very interesting, because if you get it that bit wrong, well, you could be into another safety car very soon, let's just say that much.
Owen, just referring back to the incident that brought the safety car out, I'm reading here on TAS, it's Camo Babo actually hit Jordan, and then Dan's car hit Camo Babo, but got the 5-second penalty for it, so we're not too sure what actually happened there, but there's 3 cars involved.
Well, this is a shame. We couldn't look at a replay function or anything. We only sort of caught on to it halfway through.
Is that a hint to Codemasters?
Yeah, well, I mean, I did sort of tell them to add one, and they said no. So listen, if we get too desperate, there's always GT Sport. But anyway, safety cars in this lap. Let's stop complaining about this game and hope for goodness sake we'll have a clean lap, and that's just on the graphics side. Crash all you want, but let me know where everyone is when you're crashing. So what's Carl's approach going to be? Is he going to do a Bottas and just go for it and just be passing a safety car at the perfect moment? very satisfying when it happens, but very dangerous. Or will he do a Barrichello in Brazil 03? The one I always reference has gone wrong. Let's find out. What you don't want to do is trick them and think you're going early, because that's what causes accidents. This reminds me of the F2 feature race last season, or it was a sprint race, whichever one they crash into each other on. I'll tell you what, there's overtaking already going on there. That isn't legal, I don't think, overtaking when the safety car comes in, but we'll see until the start finish line. Kyle, though, has had a clean pit stop, or a clean restart, not a pit stop. He doesn't want to be in the pits for a while yet, but no real action at the front. Then a side-by-side, though, on the exit, though. Paul, straight away, getting himself into the podium positions, wasting no time with that one. And Baz had a poor exit, has he, or just a bit slidey? Actually, it was alright. Yeah, TC and Arnold side by side down towards turn 3. Hopefully they don't end up into the wall, and TC has backed it way off just to make sure there's no collisions. You don't want to see Belgians colliding.
They hit each other here last year, you may remember.
Yes, it is a thing with these guys, isn't it? The Belgians, they love hitting each other for some reason. I don't recommend hitting your fellow countrymen, but that seems pretty obvious. As Cam had a wee look down the inside of TC, mind you, if it's obvious, then they wouldn't be doing it, would they? So.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Into Castle they go. As you say, Cam looking very lively on the back of TC. I think he might be waiting for the straight.
Yeah, he's pulled away quite well from Splinter, so he has a bit of breathing space. Oh, is he going for it already?
He just lifted off.
Yeah, he's lifted off even though he's put overtake on. That's just a waste. Don't tell any environmental people about that, they'll lose their minds. No DRS, remember, so the ERS is your only sort of real tool for overtaking at the moment, and that's quite wide from TC. Cam should have a free overtake now, as long as he can pick his moment. He's over-revved 6th gear there, just to make sure he doesn't catch up in the chicanes, as OKK has had an accident on the exit of the final proper corner, and he spins off, and the safety car's out. I wonder if Baz is going to pit straight away. He does. I saw he was already leaning over to the pit lane, expecting that safety car, and he's got it. And that's 3 safety cars, that's virtual safety cars, in just 7 laps, and Kyle does get that playoff point. Camu Babwin as well, is that a second pit stop for him then in this race? Could be, you know, making a positive out of an accident that he had earlier on. He'll be at the back, mind you, and Mr. John as well, broken front wing, but again can take it back now on to a set of tyres which should take him to the end of the race, you'd hope. It is a pit window for a one stop.
In 2 weeks, by the way.
Yeah, I was just saying there. It says the game sort of popped up when the safety car came in. You know, pit window open, 1 stop for mediums, so that's why they're all going to mediums. They've all seen that graphic, but they've all seen, aha, mediums can go to the end. Okay, good to know. But you'd imagine we'll have pretty much everyone except, well, no, Baz as well might as well do a second stop as well in here. He's 15th. He's going to lose 2 positions compared to losing, you know, 15 seconds in a green flag pit stop. So I reckon we'll see the whole strategy finished here. Depends on what time to go on to, mind you, but still they should have a set and stop done regardless.
Yeah, of course everybody completes their second stop. It's then a matter of getting it to the end and not getting damage. Don't hit the wall. Easier
said than done. In fact, yeah, I mean, you're gonna hit the wall, aren't you? But still, let's have hope in these guys that they won't do that now. These guys are all under Delta as well, but that's not the worst thing in the world, because as you see, they haven't reached the safety car yet. They've all passed the safety car. The safety car's waiting on the exit of turn 2, as Mr. John's been speeding. John!
Some characteristic. To be fair, something I have noticed with the Deltas in this game is they're very, very, very touchy.
Kyle has not pitted.
6 temps up.
Oh, okay. Nor has J-Luke. I wonder if someone will just say, do you know what, I might just sneak in under all the mediums and it might make it more difficult, but surely anyone's going to try it. No one just trying it, Jacko.
Yuri's going for it.
Finally. I mean, if you're in a good position with it, and maybe you don't want to take the risk, but you got to take the risk.
So stays out, Camo Babo stays out. Mr. John a bit further back. It's a big call from Yuri.
That's soft. Yeah.
He's put softs on, yeah, and a front wing.
That's been he's pitted down because he's broke the front wing rather than he's going to do a strategy masterclass. I mean, at least his race isn't going as badly as John's. That's just, that's frustrating to see that happen. But oh well, he's only got himself to blame. I mean, at least he's going quickly, right? He'll...
Mr. John will know, though, if he just keeps out of the wall, there will be more retirements in this race. We saw it last year. I think we only had, 9 finishes here, I believe.
It was quite low, wasn't it?
Yes.
But yes.
And of course, by taking that tactic, Mr. John got P10 last week, so he's not out of it.
Yeah, just the penalty will annoy him. We'll be looking for another safety car, but hey, his captain slows gone quickly. Are we allowed to adopt that name from him, or is he going to be upset about that? I don't know, but...
He might get upset. Mr. John will do it.
Mr. Slowly. You can tell I watch Top Gear, love, huh? Anyway.
Oh, I can, yeah.
But I mean, old Top Gear, not that new tripe.
The good Top Gear.
Don't know what this new stuff is. Chris Harris, who the heck is he? Anyway, safety car should be able to go in this lap. We've all caught up. We've all put ourselves in a position to go, and Kyle will be doing a restart again this lap. Warming the tyres up. What's he going to do this time? Well, J-Luke, he couldn't really ask for a worse restart in comparison to sticking with the leader, so I wonder if he would be the one actually calling the shot here. What if he preempts Kyle moving? It could work out. He might fancy trying that. Paul as well, right up there. Doesn't have to worry about Basil on this restart, so if J-Luke has another bad one, Paul could take advantage this time. I think Kyle is going, and this time J-Luke has stuck with him. He'll have that switch will have the overtake, but will he go for the move? And will Paul also go for it? Look at the run that J-Luke's got. He's not going to go for it. I think we've gone green, everyone's gone okay. I saw a little yellow pop up there, but we're all good. Iceman's past Splinter into turn 1, and he's hit the wall. Oh, look at that. Hi, lucky is he to save that. He'll lose a position or two, but I don't think he's really going to mind in the grand scheme of things. At least he's still in the race. Back at one of the front guys. No moves have been made, and Kyle survives. Not the best restart. I wonder if J-Luke will regret not just throwing up the inside. Mind you, it is only lap 9. Plenty of time to sort all this out. Further back, got to keep our eye on Camo Babo. He's now on the back of Yuri. He is looking like he's going to be trying to go to the end, or no. It's hard to tell how long he's actually been on these tyres. I don't think he's been on them since lap 1. I don't know if that's possible. Indecisive, I think, has had an issue. Something's gone wrong there. He's had to pull over and let people through. Whether he's made a mistake or whether he's let them through for some reason, I don't know, but he's last now. But yeah, again, on the tyres with Camo Bubba. I don't think these are 9 laps old. Oh, it's been a crash. I think Yuri's hit Baza. Someone's hit Baza.
Camo Babo's tyres are 2 laps old, by the way.
Yeah, it says on mine 9. Yeah, Baza's broke the front wing. I don't know if he's at the wall or he's been hit or whatever, but he's going to be into the pits again, and that's a shame to see that strategy not working out for him.
Yeah, bold call to go mediums at the start of the race.
Here comes J-Luke for the race lead, though. He's got the overtake, he's using it, and he's got enough to get by on the main straight, and Kyle has nothing to defend with there, and we've got a new race leader, the championship leader, back at the front. So we did get the good restart eventually. He'll be looking to try and stay ahead at least until that second playoff points stage.
That's coming up at the end of lap 12, but of course Kyle's going to have DRS to defend with on the next lap. Yeah. I say defend, I mean attack.
Attack, yes. We knew what you meant.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is interesting.
Paul McGuinness now, though.
Yeah, Paul McGuinness, obviously, everyone seems to think he's the favourite, and honestly I'd agree to an extent that he should be the favourite, but yeah, Azerbaijan not his spot. I guess you would call him your favourite though if you watched him on Zandvoort, but this isn't Zandvoort, and clearly it's not working out too well, but listen, when we get to the Zandvoort round, he'll dominate it, trust me.
Coming up in a few weeks is the Zandvoort first time we go to Holland.
Yes. Hopefully they'll fix the frame rate issues there, because streaming there could prove to be quite a massive issue. Same in Vietnam as well. Frame rate tanks in the final corner. It's shocking. I don't know is about 3 frames per second. I don't know if you've tested it or not, but I was testing it because I was really concerned about it, and it is shocking. But we'll see. We'll see what it's like. Hopefully Cody's fixed it. Wink, wink. Please. Anyway, here comes Arnold. Remember him? He hit the wall on that one. You would forget that. He's currently running for P4, trying to get by NK Bourne. NK Bourne with no DRS at his disposal. None for Arnold either, because we haven't got DRS yet, have we? Duh. I'm being silly, sorry. He's got by anyway. Around the outside of turn 1. That could be a collision if they get too close, but that is a good move. And Arnold ahead, but will NK Bourne just nip into the toe there and pass him? No. I don't think so.
Kyle. But J-Luke has enough to get away from him.
Right then, so Mr. John is taking his drive-through penalty. He will be at the back now, but he will be hoping for the next safety car to be soon. If at all we get one. Could just go without one, we'll see, but
oh, we will, Owen. It's JACKOCAR, isn't it?
Let me have hope that these guys will be a bit sick. No, actually, it's not hope, it's more sort of belief that they won't crash. Who do you take these people for, you know? Bumper cart drive? Yes.
Yeah.
It might as well be a big theme park bumper cart ride, really, isn't it? So, yes. It'll happen eventually, but hopefully not for a while. Let's get some proper racing in. Let's not have this whole thing dictated by the safety car. Bert Mylander, we love you, man, but we'd like to see the drivers fighting, not the safety car fighting its own lights. I don't know. But here comes Kyle.
Yeah. I'll let you commentate over this.
Alrighty, here he goes then. He's not even using overtake yet, his car. He's waiting for the DRS maybe to use it, or maybe he doesn't even want to use it. I think he's going to have to though, because yeah, J-League's using it. Although in fairness, this could be set up for a turn 3 move, because well, now J-League burns all his DRS. Now what's he going to have into turn 3? Like nothing. And Kyle is still right on him, so he'll pretty much have effectively what it feels like a double DRS it would be, compared to J-League's nothing. Here he goes then, Kyle. Overtake, will he use it now? Yes, he will. Let's see the closing speed. He's not in the slipstream, but he's still closing pretty quickly. Will he go for something? No, he'll just wait it out. Campbell got by TC. TC struggling for pace at the moment. Oh, MK Bourne, that was about as close as you want to get to the wall. He's lost a second or two there, but at least he's still got a full car, Jacko.
Absolutely. Yeah, what I was going to say on the main straight there.
Oh, sorry again. Paul's at the wall. He's hit with his rear tyre. He's got away with it, I think, but oh, they're starting to push the limits a bit, and it could cost them at some point. Alright, try again.
As we go through Castle, I was just looking at how much of that inside curve that J-Luke takes, and it's scarily close to the wall. Just fear if he gets a little bit too tense, he might just make a small mistake, and it's gonna throw him back across the track, and Kyle's gonna hit him. We could have a crash there at some point.
Could be an F2 2017 style pile up, that couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But Paul McGuinness has damage, you say?
No, he hit the wall.
Or did he just hit the wall?
Rear left, I think. So
Jordan broke his wing on lap 11, by the way. J-Luke comes up to collect the second playoff point of the race.
Yes, I'm wondering again why Kyle didn't really push harder for the lead then, because he's not out of ERS as well. You know, so take the chance when you have it, get that extra playoff point, that could be crucial this season. You just never know. You never know. But anyway, Iceman did the pits. Is that for a front wing, or is that just to finish the strategy? We'll see. I think it is a front wing, isn't it? They tend to be for front wings, as we've discovered. Yeah, it's a front wing, isn't it? Can't see it, like, but it's taking forever, so it'll be a front wing. Arnold on the back of Paul. Paul obviously has already been feeling the pressure with a little tap into the wall on the last lap. It really was just a tap, but it caused a pretty big slide, and if you do that too hard, then of course you'll drift into the wall again in your front this time. But he's okay this time.
By the way, just news in from OKK saying he put too much power on the final corner, and that's where he dropped it. So that was the cause of his DNF.
shame that, isn't it, really? I mean,
Yeah.
again, we saw how easily it came good from nowhere. On his good day, OKK was just front, done. Give me my ticket to the playoffs, but we'll see. I think a lot of these drivers will develop throughout the season, and then we'll see their full potential eventually. But for now, yeah, it's a shame to see him retire from a race like that. Doing it.
KK with those 2 podiums last season in Australia and Japan, just a different driver in those races, and he's also got a top 5. Where is he? A top 5 in Abu Dhabi. Just hasn't matched the form anywhere else in any of the races. But he's definitely got the talent.
Lap 14 then out of 26. Let's just remind everyone how we're looking on the pit stops. Remember, you've got to make 2. No one's on a joker, so everyone racing has got to do 2 stops. And there are only, I think, 4 drivers who have done that second stop. Caro Bravo's still the lead car on that. But what's his actual gap to leader? It's 22.2. He'll still be way up there, but he might be under a lot of pressure because I have a feeling these guys are sort of sticking this out for softs. Possibly. Which is why they're waiting a while to pay. Of course, they could also be waiting for that other safety car, whichever one comes first, possibly. Then they'll make their pit stop. But yeah, certainly just sort of waiting for the next development at this point. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Paul McGuinness, by the way, under a lot of pressure from Arnold, I see.
Well, yeah, he's been under that pressure for a little bit now. Obviously hitting the wall again. It was luckily with the rear. Oh, yellows.
There we go.
Indecisive. I think he's had a little spin. Well, he's just lost on the exit, hasn't he? And he's broke the front wing a tad. Oh, don't reverse too much though. You'll get disqualified. There we go. Move it forward. That's good.
Indecisive. Another one of these drivers who's gone from F1 2019 with a few assists on to F1 2020 with no assist.
Take 2 for Kyle. He's done this again. What's he going to try with this move? Will he actually go for the move this time? Kyle closing more, but backing it off and then still going for it. I wonder if that is J-Luke saying, you want to play games with me? Yeah, I'll play a few of those. And Paul and Arnold have collided. Arnold's facing, well, he's ahead, sorry. Paul's one facing sideways. But back to the fight for the lead. I have a feeling that J-Luke's sort of been planning this one a bit, although he's not going to go for it. I mean, he's sort of backed up and let Kyle through into trouble, but no, he's let Kyle go. I'm telling you he's let him go. I'm convinced he's let him go. We're going to see more from this fight soon. I have a feeling that Kyle is just as surprised as I am that he's in the lead of this fight at the moment. But yeah, Paul was side by side with Arnold. I imagine Arnold was going around the outside. Paul maybe just got a bit too deep, and we know how that tends to end. Luckily, I don't think he had any damage.
From Pete last season, you
oh,
may
no,
remember.
no, he does have damage, sorry. Has Paul got damage? Hard to tell. I know you've got the graphic system.
Yes. Front right end plate's
yes,
gone.
it is gone. It is gone. Be careful under the castle section. Someone hasn't been careful. It's J-Luke. He's out of the race. He's been on the exit of the castle section. Virtual safety car only. Will we see pit stops? This is quite a big shake-up already in the championship, isn't it? I know he's already got his playoff spot, but it will affect others. It'll put them all up, could put them with a shot, but will anyone take a second pit stop in the virtual safety car? Will it last long enough, Jacko?
I don't know. We'll see as Kyle comes around into the final sector here, but J-Luke, as you mentioned there, he's already in the playoffs, so it won't matter in that regard. But in terms of points and fighting for the bonus playoff points after round 10 in Austria, that could be crucial. Especially if people like Kyle, Bull, MK Bourne, Arnold are going to fight all the way through these remaining 8 races for position.
Kyle
stays out, by the way.
He hasn't pitted. Arnold has. And we go green just as he enters the pit lane. He might have saved a second or two there. Could be crucial with the undercut as well. There was a drive-through penalty there for someone, wasn't there? I couldn't see quite who. Was it Yuri? For speeding?
I didn't see.
I didn't see it. Okay, well, I might have seen it. Well, I think he's pulling in anyway. We just quickly check.
I've got a telemetry for you.
Oh, he's into the pits. He must be him.
No mention of it on here. The virtual safety car was out for 49 seconds. Nobody was close enough to make a pit stop. I know Arnold did.
Yeah, he's in the pits. Who got a drive-through? Someone did get a drive-through. I'm not losing my mind. Yeah, it was Yuri. He's in the pits, but he's changed his front wing for some reason. He must have broken that. I guess it takes that over priority, but that's just a miserable sight for him.
11.2 second stop as well for Yuri. That's his third stop of the day. Went from soft to medium. That'll be to the end, or he hopes.
So there's only one more safety car slot left. It could be a VSC or a full safety car, but there's only one left. Still 11 laps, including this one, nearly just 10 to use it in, but don't have to use it, but it's Baku, so they will. It's about when and how. Who causes it? We might be about to find out. Yuri spun off for the third time in this race, I think that is. And I think TC's just taken Baza in a very difficult spot there. In that flatted section, just out of the castle section, he's up to P10. He also pitted under the safety car, virtual safety car, to TC. Could make some gains from that. Cam is going to lead the race. Yes, Cam.
J-Luke confirming, by the way, that he lost the back end coming out the left-hander after Castle, but he barely touched the wall. So that's
simulation
result
damage.
Of sim damage. Yep, there you go.
Right, let's see. Let's see where Arnold is, because there's Kyle. There's Kyle. No, is he in DRS? Arnold's in the DRS zone. This is the net race lead here. And Arnold, while saving his couple of seconds pitting under the VSC, has now going to see Kyle under a lot of pressure. Can he take advantage early on and take the net lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? He's right there. Undercut has worked beautifully.
Yeah, good call from Arnold. Though he caught the end of the VSC, it has definitely worked out for him. He's found a couple of seconds there. And they're going to get held up by Jordan the rest of this lap. Purple sector in sector 1 for Arnold, by the way.
Yep, he's piling the pressure on, is the Belgian. But can he do anything about it? Well, how much will Kyle struggle behind Jordan? The problem is that Kyle could get by, and then you'll see Arnold not, and they could wreck the battle. But another thing that could really annoy Kyle is he tries to go for a route somewhere like here. There's front wing damage, look, on Jordan. That could make it even more difficult for the guys getting by, but Kyle is through. Arnold's stuck. He might get a double DRS, effectively, but now look at the gap, he's losing time.
So he'll have a lovely toe, but depends if Jordan can negotiate the final corners here.
Meanwhile, we've got Splinter passing Paul by the looks of it, or is Paul going to be pitting? Either way, it is Splinter getting past. And there goes Arnold ahead of Jordan, but miles behind Kyle. That's going to annoy him quite a bit, that, but we'll see if he can catch up. He did still set a fastest lap of the race. Let's see how he catches up. And TC's on the back of Dan Scaries into the pits. And that's TC up to what? Should be P7 right now. And still a few more pit stops to go. He could also benefit. He obviously undercut as well at the end of that BSC. But it is now over a second of the gap between Kyle and Arnold. So maybe a slight sigh of relief for Kyle. But we saw that from the J-Luke. You can lose it at any point around Baku.
So we've seen today's championship leader and last season's championship winner both crash out now.
Dan Scar, penalty for crossing the pit lane exit line. Normally you only get a warning for that, but he must have had a couple of warnings already. So that's a shame. Nothing you can really say about that one, nothing you can't really complain about it.
No. Dexter's having a quiet race, still only one stop complete. And the MK Braun you would expect to catch and overtake on this or the next lap. But going well is the man from Denmark.
Right, and so we're at that stage now where if you're going to pit, you're probably exclusively pitting onto the softs, right? You'd expect softs from here on in. Because they should last a while. That could help like the Cam. He was pretty high before. But we'll see. We'll see. See who pits onto what and when they pit. Either way, Arnold back into DRS, but he's had to use, well, they both had to use their ERS to get there. So this is effectively a level playing field, but with no ERS for Kyle to defend with, as MK Bourne gets ahead of Dexter. And this lead fight, folks, is not over yet. Very exciting. Bit of a slow burner, but we're gonna get there. I'm telling you. You gotta stick around for this one. You don't want to miss the tee. The last race went right down to the last lap. This one could be a scrap for the ages. You just never know. So you gotta stay. Okay? Not that you aren't staying. We've got plenty of lovely viewers here. Thank you all for joining, by the way. I haven't really appreciated you too much tonight, but you're all here. We all appreciate you. Love you. So don't leave.
Arnold would love a win as well, wouldn't he, after his playoff implosion last season?
Yes.
Wins in Monaco and Abu Dhabi, but nothing since.
Still got Canada playing through his mind every time he goes through a chicane. Oh, he's already hit the wall there.
He's just hit the wall.
Has he damaged the car?
Yep.
Oh, for Christ's sake. We had to hype him up, didn't we? That was a little script, but it's wrecked his race.
The playoff implosion continues into the regular season of Season 2.
Yeah, well, at least he's not worried about chicanes at least anymore, he's just worried about walls. No, he probably will just stay out and stay for second. He's got a pretty big gap to MK Born behind, but the win now... Yeah, that's gone, isn't it? TC on the back of Dexter now. He was down in 7th before his pit stop, and at this rate he'll probably end up somewhere around 5th, maybe even 4th. So he's coming on stronger at the end of the race. He hasn't had the best race of his life, but he is up there. Where's Cam? Has he come out of the pits? He has. So he's ahead. Now, we'll see. The podium. This would be for a podium position, effectively, NK Born. And if the damage to Arnold's bad or starts getting worse with the less grip, he can hit the wall some more times. Second place could be a possibility for Cam. That'd be nice. I'd be a fan of that one. Wouldn't complain at all.
So you're a big fan of Cam, aren't you?
You gotta love Cam.
The driver from Michigan, in the United States.
League racing buddy. And look at this though, he's hounding the back of MK Bourne as Yuri was letting him through, I think. He was being lapped, but Cam certainly on the new tyres. I mean, once he gets into the free air, the 7 seconds of it, that's ahead of MK Bourne, he will be flying along. This could be quite the finish for him. He's going to have 6 laps to enjoy these softs. But when's he going to get by NK Bourne? He's, again, just backing off a little bit. Doesn't want to risk anything. Doesn't want to run into the back of NK Bourne. He knows this is effectively a guaranteed position. Just has to make it happen at the right point and don't bottle it. As TC laps Yuri as well. DRS time then for Cam. As Kyle gets right up to the back of Splinter. I wonder if he's pitting. He is pitting. He'll also be onto the softs. And we see yellow flags. We haven't used that last safety car slot yet, but I think it's cleared up again. As Cam gets up to the back of NK Bourne. He's not close enough to go for the move, is he? Or unless he goes for a slightly risky one. Which he does. Down the inside, that could be the wall, but he has made it stick in the inside. I don't think there's a real point of NK Bourne coming back. And well, even when he was stuck behind, he still was gaining on Arnold. So with second place on the cards for Cam, we'll wait and find out.
That was a personal best, sector 3 as well on that last lap for Cam. He is flying. Arnold's 3 seconds off the back of Kyle. Remember, he was 3 tenths behind him at one point. That wing damage has not helped him. Some tracks it does help you, but not here. Kyle just has to do the ever so simple task of keeping it out the wall for another 6 laps, and he'll be in the playoffs.
Cam gains a second on Arnold in the first sector alone. He is on a mission. Not really catching Kyle enough at the moment to really pose a threat. Well, I mean, it is coming down. It is coming down. It was about 9 seconds about 10 seconds ago, and it's nearly down to 8. Yeah, what penalties do the leaders have? You probably have the information on that, just in case that has any bearing on this.
The top 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drivers do not have any penalties.
Look at this, Cam is 2.1 seconds quicker than his previous best lap in the middle sector at the moment. Gap now just about to go under 8 seconds for the race lead. Cam might not win it, but certainly at the moment is showing more than enough pace to go for second. Just he hasn't got enough laps to try and pose a challenge for the lead, but there he goes. Not a fastest lap actually. was losing a bit of time in the last sector thanks to ERS maybe being a bit low. But, well, he's certainly making this an interesting end. Sadly, Arnold isn't the one challenging, but at least we have a challenger right there. Let's see how this one finishes. This will be very interesting indeed. Gats at 7.4 for the race lead.
Little note on Jordan down in P9. He's made 28 overtakes today. That's more than anybody else so far.
It should be pointed out as well that obviously the way the live timing works in this game now, Cam can definitely see every single time the gap goes down between himself and Kyle. He'll be looking at what we're looking at right now, which is Gap's the leader, and he'll be saying that that has gone down by about 2 seconds from what it was at this point a lap ago. And that'll absolutely motivate him. If he keeps doing that, I'll be past him by the end. He will be passed, he'll win. But it's a tall ask still, it has to be said. I think Yuri's had another spin. He's reversing. He's lost, I think, the entire front wing. Oh, what a shame.
Where he's reversing is exactly where...
Safety car! Safety car!
Oh.
He's caused a safety car on lap 22 of 26. And the problem here, Jacko, the real problem is Cam doesn't have to pit again. None of them have to pit again. But Cam's going to be right on this on the much fresher, much faster softs. What do they do? Do they pit? Arnold might fancy it. He won't have much to lose. Kyle, he doesn't pit. He thought about it. Arnold also thought about it. Cam, came on, people. Could be putting himself in a position to win this thing.
MK Bourne pits.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill. Cam is in the box seats here. He can just have a good restart.
And also, don't forget TC on his fresh tyres. What's he going to do? With Arnold carrying damage, be on for a podium.
Splinter as well is up there.
Splinter as well, yeah. MK Bourne, I assume, is going to try and steal fastest lap right at the end. Yeah, it's not going to lose out on much as Camo and Jordan also pit.
And I'll assume this safety car is more for actually the debris on the track rather than the car facing backwards, because it was the entire front wing that had come off Yuri's car. It's despawled now. Cleaned it up nice and quickly, but this is a nightmare situation for Kyle and for especially Arnold, because yes, maybe you'll feel that it's not worth pitting at this stage, but when you got damage like this, you could find yourself falling through the pack. But this certainly could be a very good end to this race for Cam, and if it is...
Oh, I've just watched Dan's car drive into the wall, Owen.
Oh dear.
No damage.
Lucky boy. Lucky boy. But like I say, let me just warn the viewers now. If I get a bit excited when Cam wins this, yeah, don't have a go at me. Yes, I'm a tad biased, but that's only because we got a past of league racing and general lack of success from either of us. So, yeah.
Bear in mind, you all had to go at me when I celebrated your race not move in Germany last year.
Well, I was only for like 8 for something, and this one could be a move for the victory.
And of course, if a reserve driver wins a race, it will not count towards the playoffs. So it means that somebody, provided we get 9 race winners in the first 10 races, somebody is going to have to qualify on points, which makes the round 10 race in Austria even more exciting. And we went into Austria with only 5 race winners, Owen. 5 people had to qualify on points alone.
So we're in a sort of very irritating situation right now, and I'll tell you why. Because Indecisive is absolutely miles behind the train. The train's nearly catching him. Am I panicking about this only being a 1-lap shootout? Yes, I am. But please, Jess, again. Except I'll be mad. Let's not have this, okay? We're not having this. This isn't happening to me. This isn't happening to me. I'm not letting this be a 1-lap shootout. I mean, it'll be fascinating. But
and of course, the rules allow contact as well, so you're going to see some very aggressive drivers try and just do something to get a race win. Like I say, top 12 No penalties there. Actually, I think Baza is the first one with a penalty. Let me just check for you.
God.
Oh, sorry, Dan's car and Jordan have 3-second penalties. They are new.
God. Catch him. Catch. Are you pitting, Yuri? You better be into the pits to retire and to watch this race. Retire?
P16 will only get you 1 point.
You don't need that point.
You can retire and he'll get the point no matter what.
I need this race to restart, man. 2 laps is much more exciting than 1. I think everyone will agree with me with this. If Matt doesn't make this, I'm going to kill him. Listen, we don't need Matt for this restart, okay?
I don't think the game would do it. Mr. John's caught up now, so I think that'll be it this lap. A 2-lap shootout for the win. We'd take that.
I would take that, especially if Cam is in the position to do it. We'll
Got
find out. Obviously, everyone's going to have...
Last week, Owen, we had a 5-car battle for the lead in the last 10 laps, but now we've got a 14-car battle. 2 laps for the win.
It should be pointed out here that obviously everyone's now got a full tank of ERS as well. They can absolutely abuse it. And look at that, TC's already getting a bit pushy here. He's trying to get by Cam. Do not get in my boy's way, TC. Thomas. Oh, he's passed it. Oh, for goodness sake. Cam! Right, well, that's that one gone.
Arnold will let TC through into turn 1.
Oh, you bet he will.
Oh, yes.
Well, will he?
Start from Kyle.
He's not. He's
No,
not.
he won't.
Maybe he fancies his own chances, but you can see the understeer already into turn 1. There's a bit of side-by-side, so front wing flying off from 2 or 3 cars there. Certainly Paul and Splinter have lost some bits of front wing, and there's a car way off to Narnia almost. There it was TC. But off this restart, we're now seeing Cam trying to come back at TC on the outside. TC's not being polite anymore. He's pushing him nice and wide, making Cam work for it. Will Cam fly him up the inside? He's going to hit that curb quite hard. Cam push you out wide. But the chances of this race win are looking pretty slim now because TC has him in the wall. Oh, look at this. This is 3 or 4 cars in this pack have now got smashed up front wings. And TC is going to be public enemy number 1 for maybe 1 or 2 of them. Look out into the castle, guys, because not a single one of you's got a full front wing. Just keep it nice and chill into here. Yes, we're all keeping it chill. No one's hitting the wall, thank goodness. Kyle, 1.2 seconds clear at the front. He looks good. He looks nice and good for this one.
Great restart again from Kyle. That's the 3rd time he's done it this race.
Yeah,
as Yuri hits the wall again, at the back of the pack.
You got to give it to him. It has been a fantastic race for him in general. He's really proven his worth in JACKOCAR.
Yeah.
And he's starting his final lap in a few moments. As long as he can secure the victory, he will be in Bahrain again for the playoffs. He won't have to worry a dot about the rest of the races until then.
Bahrain short, of course, to begin the playoffs.
Cam is D-rating. We've got yellows for Yuri, who's finally crashed out. But down the inside goes Cam on the final lap. And TC's had to go right off the track. Neil Larky was doing that to avoid a collision, but he at the end of the day stayed ahead by, effectively going off the track. And the train he's got, as Splinter has a big slide, is growing, and it's growing fast. He has really just not got the pace at the moment, has he? He's doing a very nice defensive job, but Cam's going up the inside again. He doesn't want to hit the Belgian, but he also sort of needs to get by. There's a podium at stake here. Paul McGuinness could be going up the inside for all you know. You've got to be ready. You're on the soft tires as well. Taking advantage, that's the last thing you need to be trying not to do at this last lap, and for some reason seems he does not want to go for it. Yeah, the front wing damage is a slight problem, but I mean, oh, look at NK Bourne on the outside there. Oh, into each other. Oh. That's a lot of front wing damage. That's a lot that could go wrong in this castle section. And it's Paul McGuinness into the wall out of the race. He was pushed in there by NK Bourne in all fairness, and we've got the F2 feature race 2017. Finally, I've been waiting all my life to see this happen. And we're waiting for, hopefully, no one to get disqualified here. If you get disqualified, I reckon you might lose your poise, but the problem is there's bits of car flying everywhere. And it's all caused by Paul McGuinness. Nascar gets ahead of all these guys. There's a lot of front wings sitting on the track. There's still more side by side, and there's still more cars into the wall. They've all been let loose on this final lap at the moment, but it is Kyle, ART_Kyle_22. He weaves, he celebrates, and he has booked his place in Bahrain for the playoffs. What a victory for him. Purely dominant the whole way. You can't really say anything about that. It was a fantastic performance. Arnold second, TC third, NK Bourne fifth. Sorry, there we got Cam fourth. Dexter fifth, Cam Baba sixth, Spencer, Iceman, Jordan, John. Well, actually, let's not confirm these guys because they've all got no front wings. Oh! Out of the race goes Baza. That's sort of why I was saying that.
You almost made it to the end, eh?
Almost.
Oh, Mr. John's going to get a P11 here.
Right, I can't wait to see Paul McGuinness. He'll just cut back to his car and there'll be steam coming out of the helmet. He got absolutely killed by MK4 in there. Oh. Mind you, Paul's getting the blame here in the chat. Jimmy's gone straight in there saying that was Paul's doing, you know? He broke late, he caused the accident. This is getting heated, folks. This is what you want to see, a good old punch up at the end of F1 car race.
Well, it is a NASCAR race.
I can't repeat what Paul's saying, but he's fired up. You love to see it. You love to see it.
You do love to see it.
If you haven't seen an angry Paul before, if you're in the chat and you haven't seen an angry Paul before, get ready. You do. You don't go around the outside there, idiot. Don't push people into the wall there, idiot.
So it sounds like it's going to be a busy night for the stewards, Owen, but that's not your problem.
Not my problem. My job is to tell you who finished where, and Kyle's the winner. Arnold second, TC third, 2 Belgians on the podium. Who could have predicted that going into this race, judging by how poor they were looking compared to, podiums. Cam fourth, shit didn't work out for him, but still, good result from 9th. NK Bourne, Dexter driver of the day according to the game. Cam Babo, Spencer, Iceman and Jordan. Then Mr. John indecisive, Dan Scar, and then the casualties of the final lap, Bazza and Paul. Then our retirements, Yuri, J. Luco, KK, Pete and Clyde. And that has been the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Confirmation just in that crash at Castle was actually J. Luke's fault, I'm understanding.
Thomas is doing the world a favour. He is telling Paul McGuinness off. Don't tell Paul McGuinness off. That'll just make him angrier. And you know what? I'm going to go and enjoy that now. We're going to go. Thank you all for watching. We had fantastic viewership for the entire thing. We had like a solid 15 average. I'm very happy. Good to see you're all here. And I hope you're all going to stay for the Australian Grand Prix next week. And until then, I've been Owen White. Jacko, as always, has been next to me. Been a pleasure as always. And we'll see you all next week. Safe travels, everybody.
Goodbye.